So we are starting with the valence bond theory. Just to start with the valence bond theory, to tell you initially, now let's assume the bonding of hydrogen. Now how do two atoms of hydrogen bond? The two atoms of hydrogen bond, I have drawn what is called fish hook arrows, which we'll talk about later when we do organic chemistry. Now how are these hydrogen bonds formed? The hydrogen bonds are formed by, we say, the electrons, the atoms come together and they share their electrons. So this is how a bond formation takes place. It's shown by a pair of electrons drawn between two atoms, or it's shown by a single line in this particular case. Okay. Now this kind of model is good when we consider the particle nature of an electron. But what about the wave nature of an electron? What when we are talking about the wave nature of the electron, what should we be talking about? So when we consider electron as a wave, what are the things that can happen? So when an electron is a wave, so when two waves interact, they can add on constructively to form a bigger orbital. Now what are these? These are two atomic orbitals of hydrogen containing one electron each. So let's call it AO, atomic orbital of hydrogen, atomic orbital of hydrogen. So what am I considering? I'm considering the electron as a wave now. So when the atoms of hydrogen, they come into the formation of a hydrogen, of a covalent bond, the two atomic orbitals, they overlap. Now because here we are talking about the wave nature of an electron, we'll do more about this in the atomic structure. So when we talk about the wave nature of an electron, we say there is probability that they interfere, that they add constructively. This means the two waves with the crests and the troughs meet, forming a bigger wave. Now this constructive interference is what forms the basis of the valence bond theory. Right? So there is constructive, there is also destructive. So I just tell you what destructive is, but our valence bond theory does not deal with the second kind of interaction. Now, so a constructive interference is where the electron density is shared between the two atoms. So it's a favorable interaction. Another kind of interaction that can happen is when that's called a destructive interference. This means the crest of one coincides with the trough of the other. So what happens is we get area or region or volume of no electron density. It's called a node. So this is destructive interference. You can think of these as we are subtracting the waves, or the trough meets the crest, so they get cancelled, the amplitude decreases, and what we get is a node, which is a region of no electron density. This is a region of high electron density. This is what our orbitals are. So in the valence bond theory, we are predominantly going to talk about that, right? Before I discuss the postulates of this model, let's see how a bond is formed. What is the basic premise of the valence bond theory? Now when two atoms, now what is the electronic configuration of hydrogen? We are discussing hydrogen because that's the simplest. It's 1s1, and what does the atomic orbital look like? It's spherically symmetrical. So when hydrogen forms a bond, these two orbitals must interact with each other. For constructive interference, the waves must interact. So how do we show the waves interacting? So the two 1s orbital of hydrogen with one electron, I'm just making this broader, with one electron each, they overlap. And you've been doing this overlap since junior grades, right? When you learn bonding, you learn this overlap. So the atomic orbital of one hydrogen overlaps with the atomic orbital of another hydrogen to form a new atomic orbital, which is no longer atomic, it's a molecular orbital, which is called constructive interference. Now the bond forms, so what is the bond form? The bond is formed by the overlap between S and S. The overlap between S and S is also called the head-on overlap. And the kind of bond, it results in the formation of a single bond always. Whenever an S overlaps with a S, it's always a single covalent bond that is formed. And this overlap leads to what is called a sigma bond. It's denoted by the Greek letter sigma, right? So quickly a recap of what is on the board before I take this off. So the hydrogen atoms in the particle model of an atom, the electrons would tear up, the electrons are pairing up, and they are forming electron pair between the two atoms shared equally. This is the particle nature. Now according to the wave nature, there are atomic orbitals. So electron is like a wave. So when the two atoms come closer for bonding, these atomic orbitals, they overlap. And what is the kind of overlap? It is called constructive. We are dealing with constructive overlap, which leads to electron density between the two atoms. Now, taking the case of hydrogen, which is 1s1, this is the hydrogen molecule, which is formed by the overlap of the 2s orbital. Such kind of overlap is called head-on overlap, and this results in a sigma bond. Now, while I introduce the sigma bond to you, I must also tell you that all sigma bonds are essentially single bonds. But all single bonds may not be SS overlap, they could be due to some other overlap also. But sigma bond essentially means a single bond. Now, what are the other kinds of bonds which result into a sigma bond? Remember, a sigma bond will always be a head-on overlap, the best bond, right? Another kind of overlap that can lead to a sigma bond is the overlap between S and P, and usually it is the PZ orbital. So S and PZ can also overlap to form a sigma bond. Another kind of bond that can overlap to form a sigma bond is the PZ and the PZ. Remember, in chemistry we are taking PZ as the internuclear axis. So these three overlaps are always head-on overlap, and these result in the formation of a sigma bond. So sigma bond is a single bond. Remember, all multiple bonds proceed with the formation of a sigma bond first. So either of the three overlap is taking place when a sigma bond is formed, followed by the formation of pi bond, which I am taking in the next lecture.